How's everybody doing this morning? Let's see right here. Hello, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing? It's a rainy day in Georgia. I see where the National Weather Service is. um, um, Good morning over on TikTok. How's everybody doing this morning? It's a gray, cold, rainy morning here in Atlanta. Good morning, Karen. Um, Everybody out there on TikTok. I'm also over on Facebook and I'm on Instagram and YouTube right now. How about that? I'm having me a morning. I'm going to get out here a little bit. I got to go to Home Depot, and we in the thrust of getting Heather's house uh, put back together. My daughter Heather's house caught on fire, and it's been a journey, but we're getting that put back together. And so that's going to be occupying a lot of my time for the next month or two. Hopefully, we're on the tail end of it. But anyhow, good morning, everybody. I've seen where little weather alerts are coming through now. For the next 3 days, I believe they got flash flood warnings all around Atlanta because thank y'all for the hearts this morning. Thank y'all for taking the time to tap the screen. Tap, 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 as they say. It helps. It helps the algorithms get the live out there into internet land, folks. But thank y'all for the taps this morning. Y'all come on in the room. Quit peeking around and poking around. Come on in here. Good morning, Miss Krista. Krista Paints. Somebody's sending in private messages. I'll read those in a minute. But hello, everybody. Is there anything going on? Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm surprised at myself because over the last, I don't know, over the last month since the November, I really just tuned out news. And so I see little scrolls that pop up, and this happens and that happens. Absolutely love seeing you and Ava together. Thank you there. Thank you. Good morning, Miss Dora. Good morning, Ava K. I would like to know your thoughts on the man blocking the door with the Band-Aid on his neck. I don't know what that is. I'm out of the loop on that. I don't have a clue. That's German to me. Maxine Waters was in front of him. Y'all, I just really haven't been watching much of the news, or usually I'll read just some local headlines in the AJC. Because I have an online subscription to that, for just local politics or local stuff happening on. But we're living in a dangerous world. We know that. And we have dangerous people who are now leading the country. And I seen this yesterday. Let me see. I understand, Bubba says, invite. I don't know how to invite other people to be a part of the live. Good morning, Julie. Good morning to you. Says, me neither. Not a damn thing I can do about it. Y'all, the thing about it is, as much as a lot of us think, good morning, Kathy Cole Jackson. Good morning to you. Then I seen where Harry Eaton, I think it's his name, on CNN. I miss Georgia so much, but don't think I could live there again. Psychic bitch Harry Nanny Bush. Yeah, I guess. Wow. I miss Georgia. Well, the thing about it is, Georgia, I'm still an advocate for Georgia. Georgia, think about this, y'all. Even in the midst of all this, Georgia has 2 Democratic statewide elected senators, an African-American and a Jewish man. And so for all the bad about Georgia, man, Atlanta's a fantastic place. What do you say to gay conservatives? I don't know. To me, politics, there's a reason that politics is like religion. Gay, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a gay conservative. I'm kind of a conservative on some issues myself, and but that's different from if you were saying, "What do you think about being a gay MAGA person?" which is what we term conservatives now. And what I would say about it, I'm from South Georgia, Camden County. Loved growing up there, but not sure I could move back. I don't think I could. Yeah, to get me out of it, you get me outside 285, and no, I like being around like-minded people. But what I would say about MAGA gay people, gay and trans and people that voted for Trump and was part of MAGA, well, this shouldn't be shocking to anybody that because look how many gay and lesbian people sit in evangelical churches for all their life and being told that they wasn't worthy for the kingdom of God and they were going to burn in a lake of fire. And they sat there and put their money and their tithes in those churches and supported organizations that were against gay people and had hate. I don't know any other way you can say there's Christian hate toward homosexuals. So lots of gay people still go and support those churches. And so, yeah, it would make sense that they also support MAGA. They're conditioned to supporting people against their best interests. So I'm from Peachtree City, but lived in Habersham County before I moved. Yeah. How many pastors have, I can't read that because they'll flag me. But I agree with you what you say about pastors and other younger people. But anyhow, this morning, I mean, if we're just being honest, we're living in a dangerous time, a dangerous world with dangerous people in charge of our government now. And yet, what I was going to say is I've seen a little clip where Harry Eaton from CNN did the latest approval ratings polls, and Donald Trump has a 4-point positive approval rating. And this time in his first election, he was a negative 4 points, and this time he's a positive 4 points. We understand how all that can shift in a week, in a month, in a year. But evidently, all these 200 executive orders and all this stuff about, what he's doing, it's not hurting him politically. I mean, the people, a lot of people still rate him like he's doing an okay job. And I know we don't get it. I got that, Danielle. Yeah, I have to be careful because I'll start reading something and then I'm like, oh, let me stop right there because they'll flag me and throw me off. And even talking like this, they can do it anyway. Was Reagan a good president? I'm born in 85. I didn't think Reagan was a good president. I think Reagan may have been the start of MAGA. And because, Reagan got elected because of Anita Bryant and her campaign of hate, along with Jerry. I have to watch saying hate too. I'm pretty safe on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. TikTok's real funny about words like that. I don't think Reagan was a good president because Reagan was elected because Anita Bryant and Jerry Falwell, which was a big time preacher then, and Anita Bryant, they ran a campaign that Jimmy Carter wasn't godly enough, that Jimmy Carter wasn't Christian enough, and Reagan was a good godly man, And so, and then I noticed this from my personal experience. Until the election of Ronald Reagan, I worked downtown at 119 Lucky Street for 20 years during that time, and on the corner of Lucky and Spring Street in downtown Atlanta. And I never really noticed homeless people until Reagan and the Republicans passed the bills that stopped funding all mental hospitals. Like, I don't know about in other parts of the country, but like in Georgia, there was in Milledgeville, Georgia, there was the state hospital. States had their own hospitals where they could institutionalize people. And my Aunt Corrine spent a couple of years in state institutions, and they did brain shock treatments and all like that. It was horrible. And before I just throw the baby out with the bathwater, there was a lot of horror stories that also went on in confined. Families could get together. families could get together and sign away a family member. And a lot of them needed to be put in institutions, because if not, they're going to wind up living on the streets out here, because they was mentally incoherent to be a functioning human in society. And a lot of times they were violent, they were they mental conditions. So the states had state hospitals. Well, when Reagan and the Republicans, they got together, cut the spending, they cut all that out, and they dumped all these people out on the streets, back to their families, whatever. It was supposed to have been some way to fix all that. So now if you go to San Francisco or anywhere in any cities, Atlanta, you have massive amounts of the unhoused, as the proper term now they use to say, instead of homeless, which I don't, maybe somebody that's in that community could explain that to me. I don't understand why the unhoused word is somehow less degrading than homeless. My God, I've been homeless before. I've like bounced around from house to house as a teenager, homeless. I don't see nothing negative about being homeless. I mean, it's just, it is what it is sometimes in life. Probably all of us at one time has been kind of homeless. Good morning, Miss Diane over on Facebook, and good morning, Miss Joanna. The Reagan era was the beginning of this Christian nationalist. Yeah, absolutely. So y'all do get that. Good morning, Eddie. I think his approval rating is because they want to see spending cuts, even though the spending cuts target the poorest here and around the world. Yeah, you know, the Republican senator from Kansas, I don't know his name. People congregate downtown in that 5 points around the shelter. Yeah, there should be no such thing. Yeah, the Republican senator stood up, and it's rare for a Republican senator to say anything negative. He says, my God, folks, there's hundreds of millions of dollars of American taxpayers, my money, your money, hundreds of millions of dollars of food rotting in warehouses around the world, while whole communities are hungry for food. And they did this in such a diabolical way that they just like, the hell with all of them. Let the corn rot, let the wheat rot, let the rice rot, whatever, you know. And so good morning, Lexi. Good morning over there. Thank y'all for the gifts and for the taps and for the stores will throw away food instead of donating. Although I've noted a lot of places around Atlanta donate food and donate leftover stuff at restaurants and stuff like that. Yeah, thank y'all for tapping the hearts and all, and for all that y'all do over there. So yeah, the Reagan, I never voted for Reagan. I voted for Walter Mondale on Reagan's second term, and I voted for Jimmy Carter, Reagan's first term. I never voted for him because I thought, I've always felt like Republicans never had my best interest at heart. You know, they want to cut school lunch programs. They want to classify ketchup as a vegetable to skirt some kind of issue. Everywhere in Georgia needs to get like Atlanta then. Good morning, Charlie. So I never have felt like Republican. You know, the thing about it is, for us to go out and vote, a person, not a party, but a person has to speak to our spirit, has to speak to our better angels in some kind of way. Donald Trump's never connected to my spirit. I just see right through him. I think it's just a grifter, a kind of greasy palm, greasy fingers. Have you ever showed, you know what Donald Trump reminds me of, y'all? And I know this from being in church world for a long time. Have you ever shook hands with somebody and their hands were just clammy and kind of sticky? Like you felt like maybe they hadn't washed their hands in a while, and it was kind of clammy or cold, and just something weird about a handshake. Donald Trump reminds me of he has kind of clammy, cold hands. You know, plus he's got them little bitty fingers too. You know, what's the IRS start auditing me this year? What's your thoughts on the MAGA farmers not getting the government assistance now? They are upset. You know, and I'm not, because of who I am as a person in my spirit, you know, I know that a lot of people come on here and say, well, they get what they deserve. I hope they get what they deserve. I hope when they cut out their social, they get what they deserve. I just don't feel like that toward them. I hope the farmers are that voted for Trump. I hope they're able to kind of make money and save their farms. You know, I wish this would turn out okay for everybody. It's not going to turn out okay for everybody, y'all. We are in a coup. We are in the midst of a government takeover, a coup of our nation. We are in the midst of having our democratic system forever changed. And once, good morning, Dynamic Vision. That's a good name, isn't it? I know a female farmer that loved Trump, but has been quiet since that happened. Yeah. You know, my hope is here's if I could hope. Yeah, there is a lot of bad spirits out there voting for this evil. My hope is at some point, and it's going to take the MAGA people. At some point, enough of the MAGA people will just be like, God damn, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? That I voted for this motherfucker. What was I thinking? You know, and I'm using the real vile language and terms to express that, but those words are meant to express the outrage that they're going to have to come to. That my hope is that one day that they'll just take a deep breath, and I'm talking about they'll just say, God damn, what was I thinking? This goddamn motherfucker has fucked me over. And I'm hoping that'll be the result of all this, because I'm telling you, when the political tide shifts against somebody, it can be devastating, because it can come like a tsunami where people are like, oh, hell no, not that motherfucker no more, you know? And so, but as far as hoping they get, you know, and I told you so, you know, to get on here and say, I told you so, and I hope you get what you deserve, and they will never admit to it. MAGA won't be independent enough to vote from Schiff. And I believe that too, Diane. But the thing about this, it wouldn't take much. It wouldn't only take about 10, 15% of them, and the whole thing could collapse. I'm telling you. Daniel said, I told you so in my Randy Travis voice. I told you so. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable getting online or saying, yeah, y'all get it, y'all deserve it. You know, if a farmer that's had his farm in his family for 100 years and him and his son trying to save it, hold on to it out here in Nebraska or Kansas somewhere, I don't wish them no luck. I hope they can hold their farm. I hope this screwed up policy don't cause people to, man, it's hard to lose. Have y'all ever been? Lots of rural economies are affected if the farmers fail. Yes. And not only that, do we want more and more of our food coming out of processed plants where they just chemically manufacture food? No, we want some. We want some real food. Did you hear about the SAVE Act? Nikki says, no, he never connected with my spirit either. No Republican ever has. They aren't for us. Now, I'll tell you what, now I know this would put me on somebody's shit list, but man, I really have admired Liz Cheney and the way she's conducted herself through this Trump era. And the ex-congressman from up in Nebraska, I can't even think of his name, but he's Mitt Romney. I watched a documentary about Mitt Romney one time, because y'all know I'm a documentary freak. And I watched a documentary about Mitt Romney when he was running against Obama. And I would have still voted for President Obama. But man, I had a whole different appreciation for Mitt Romney, you know, and what a decent man he's turned out to be. So, yeah, I don't think we'll have a woman president, Bubba, not in my lifetime. I don't think maybe even more so than the fact that she was a woman of color was the fact that she was just a woman. And I don't think our country now is going to elect a woman anytime soon, you know. Yeah, all the comments are coming in pretty quick right now. Adam, yes, Dora, Adam, the congressman. What a decent man he is. So there's decent Republicans out there, and a lot of them are silent. But you know what? Can I just say this? If I'm just since I'm on using language that's inappropriate this morning. What a piece of shit Susan Collins has been. Hadn't she turned out just to be a big pile of dog shit? I mean, I'd rather for somebody to be an absolute coward or be an absolute like Liz Cheney, but Susan Collins, I mean, the senator from Maine, what an absolute piece of dog shit she's turned out to be. You know, I mean, just you talking about somebody that straddles the fence. Don't you just hate people that straddle the fence? You know, I'd rather somebody just to call a spade or be a total fake and a phony. She tries not to be a fake and a phony, and she won't stand up for anything. She's voted for every one of these nominees to be confirmed. And yet she likes to put on that persona like she's a very a deep thinker, like she's open-minded, that she'll stand up for the truth and this and that and other. What a big pile of dog shit she's turned out to be, you know? And I'm just reading some of these comments, y'all. Mitt Romney and John McCain would have gotten my vote over Trumpy. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, but I don't have now the other senator, whatever her name is from Alaska. Now I really do kind of like her, but she's Susan Collins. What a big pile of dog shit she's turned out to be. And the thing about it is, how do you? I'm just know who I am. I turned 70 in September. Once I lose respect for somebody, they ain't never getting it back. I've never lost respect for John McCain all the years he was in public service, even though I'm like, John, you tried to snooker us with that Sarah Palin shit. John, you knew better than that. And he regretted that. I'm telling you, from inside people around him, he regretted that pick. And Sarah Palin, I mean, that was to kind of swing for the fences and try to shock the election and try to snatch it back, some of the magic from Obama. It didn't work. Yes, she does talk out both sides of her mouth. Don't we hate that? The people that just talk out both sides of their mouth. You know, Susan Collins. Yeah, she's no friend of the American people. I know that. I didn't like George W. while he was in office. I like him now and his energy towards Trump. Yeah, I've you know who I love George W. and I love Laura, his wife. I never voted for him either time, but I do admire the fact the thing about George W. that I liked. I just didn't feel like at his heart he was a bad person, and that's where I differ with people with Donald Trump. I just feel like Donald Trump's a bad person. You know, yeah, he can have all kind of crazy stuff said, doing, and all like it. I never felt like George W. was a bad person. And I watch these little clips because I don't watch TV, really, not really. I write, I read, I do stuff. I don't watch much TV. Nikki says, tell women to look up the SAVE Act. Exactly. But I never felt like George W. was a bad person. You know, and I tell you the thing about this, can y'all remember back this? When he stood on that burning heap of smoking rubble at 9/11, and he got a bullhorn from one of the firemen, and he spoke to the world standing on a pile of burning rubble. And he took that bullhorn and he said, I want to tell you this, the people that did this, we're coming for you. At that time, his approval rating in America, this is unheard of, 94% of the Americans approved with how he was handling that. They were angry. They were bitter. We came together. Yeah, he made a lot of mistakes. Saddam Hussein didn't have no weapons of mass destruction. But he, at least he had this thing, I'm the decider. I'll decide. And people like an authoritative figure, you know? And I felt like we headed, I feel like we're headed that way again. Yeah. Bush is good with friends. Yeah. But I like, and what I was going to say, Jenna Bush, who was on there with Hoda on that show for the last several years, and now it's Jenna and Friends, and they have different co-hosts. What a treasure this little daughter of his. Let me back up. Don't demean her in some way by his little daughter. What a blessing, his daughter. And she's found her footing where she's making her own. I mean, she's just such a joy to watch on the clips I watch of her. And she loves her daddy, and she's on there the other day talking about how she wished her daddy wouldn't embarrass her and try to do a fist bump with the President Obama and say, why not just shake his hand, Dad? But she was the one that shot somebody a bird out of the car one time in the limo of the White House. Angela, good morning, Eddie. What's your take on us possibly having the chance to gain the House with special election coming up in Florida in April? Wouldn't it be good if we could just get control of the House? Y'all, yeah, I love Jenna too, Kelly. Isn't she sweet? Oh my God, she's so, the thing I've noticed about the camera, this camera right here that I'm on, and also the cameras on TV, whether it's Jenna, whether it's who, the camera, it's hard for people to fake the camera. People kind of see through it, and we see Jenna. That's the same thing with Donald Trump. That's why so many people like, no, I'll never vote for him. They see through this camera and they say, man, this guy's a grifter. He's a shyster, And but anyway, George W., yeah, not bad people. Laura, wasn't she always sweet? George H.W., yeah, he was a politician. He was a little shitty sometimes, but, but he was a decent man. But Reagan, I was never a fan of Ronald Reagan. I did like his son though, and his daughter. They spoke out against him. I do hope that we can get the House back in 2026. I hope we can get the House. We can get a Democrat governor seat in Georgia. I'm telling you, the governor's going to be hard in Georgia, and I think Senator Ossoff is probably in grave danger. Depending if Margaret Taylor Greene runs against him, he's not. But if they put up a legit somebody to run against Ossoff, I think his seat is in danger. and if I'm just being honest, having control of the House may not be enough. They don't intend to follow the law. Yeah, that's true too. This is as a political junkie. Just as a political junkie, I'd vote for Senator Ossoff. I'd campaign for him. I'd do whatever I can for him here in Georgia. But just as a political junkie most of my life, and a person that loves the inner workings of politics per se, he's very boring to hear him speak in public. He doesn't have that same kind of, he doesn't make people jump up and notice and like I said earlier, where you have that connection with people. Now, Senator Warnoff, he's going to be hard to beat because he's going to go down here in Chatham County and Augusta and the places around the state. And he's already got, probably in Georgia, 95% of people of any colors eating out of the palms of his hands because he's a well-trained, schooled Baptist preacher. Boy, when he walks up on stage, immediately he knows what he's doing. He knows how to connect with people eye to eye. And he's one of those people, when he's speaking, you think he's speaking directly to you. That's a gift and an art that people have, especially some preachers. And when he walks up and he says, how's everybody doing? Come on, y'all come on with me. Let's go to this place. And I mean, Senator Ossoff's very reserved, and I don't know if it excites people, And I noticed that in the first campaign where the two of them won, where they were both running at the same time because it was a special, Senator Warnoff got about 200,000 or 300,000 more votes than Ossoff did in that election. They both won, but it's going to be difficult for Ossoff, But anyhow, good morning, TikTok. Coming to y'all from Atlanta, Georgia this morning. Hello, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and but my sweetheart over here. I'm not cheating on her. The TikTok crowd over here. It's good to be alive this morning. We're going to have the next 2 or 3 days of a lot of rain here in Atlanta. It's going to be, they got flood warnings out, flash flood warnings out. So I'm going to get out of here just shortly and finish this cup of coffee. And I think I'm heading over to Home Depot shortly and get some stuff and piddle and diddle and daddle a little bit today. So that's a little bit about politics today. Yeah, you know, we just go through it, y'all. It is what it is. I think a lot of us are starting to digest the fact that we're in for the next several years of Trumpism, MAGAism, people that's emboldened to be ugly, to be unkind. You know, good morning. Yeah, I rode by. I saw you standing out. That's my sister Vicky on the. I rode by. I saw you out in front of your yard right there. I started to stop, but I wasn't even planning on stopping by to see Danny. I went by to check on Larry up the street, Caleb's rental house, and then I just spur of the moment I swung by and I didn't even know if Danny was home and check with him. But anyhow, 47 months to go. God Almighty, hadn't it been a long month? He's been in office a month. So. I think our hope is in the next year, people that's running for the 435 seats of the House, you know, start campaigning. And I think if we could get a 10 or 20 seat margin in the House, we could throw the pipe wrench in the middle of whatever it is. I mean, they'll still. You know, they came out yesterday, J.D. Vance and some of them. Now they're trying to say we shouldn't obey any of the court rulings. We should just go ahead and do what we're going to do. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, as scary as that sounds, if the president of the United States, let's just say the courts ruled a couple of days ago that the USAID workers, whatever, they put a stop to it. Well, if the president of the United States said, yeah, we're not going to pay no attention to the court. We're just going to go ahead and do it anyway. There ain't nothing court can do. It's the president. He's very powerful. He can disregard. If the Supreme Court ruled X, Y, Z, and if Donald Trump said, screw y'all, we're still going to do it. I mean, what are they going to do? They ain't got no way to enforce that against the president. It was always based upon the three branches of government coexisting with each other. And if one branch, mainly the president, says, I'm not going to coexist with the other branches of government, I'm going to do what I want to do and the hell with them. And the president's over the Justice Department. Yeah. Have a good day, y'all. They can be hateful, but don't let it get you down. Yeah, you too, Danielle. It's kind of we're in a fix, y'all. We're in a fix. You know, we're basically in now a constitutional crisis as we speak this morning. It's already here, and once they disregard a court ruling the first time, it'll get easier for the next time and then easier for the next time until it reaches the point where there's just no need to even have courts anymore because they're not going to be listened to. And that's the collapse of our democratic system, you know, and we're in that constitutional crisis right now. So, hey, Paul, yeah, it is. Yeah. So I'm reading the comments over here, y'all. But anyhow, I'm going to get off of here and get my day started. What can we do? we just keep on keeping on. I tell you what we can do until maybe we can't do it no more. Let our voices be powerful. Let us be steadfast in how we walk, how we talk. Don't become a coward in the midst of all this, and just don't become a coward, because that's what fascism is trying to make everybody else put in their place, make them afraid to speak out, make them afraid to protest, make them afraid to march, make them afraid to voice their opinions. America's not heading this way. America now is a fascist country. The rest of the world sees that. Some of you that's listening to this say, no, we're not quite there yet, Eddie. Oh, yeah, we are. Other people already see it. You just slow to catch up. We're in a fascist system right now, and it's going to get worse and worse. Hopefully, we could get the House back in 18 months or next 2 years, and we can have some kind of just a piece of a hand on the steering wheel. But until then, yeah, it's pretty rough. Love y'all. I'm going to get off of here. Y'all enjoy your day. I'll see y'all this evening. Come back on maybe later this evening. That's the day winds down. Thank you, Jolene. Yeah, y'all have a good day too over on TikTok. We love y'all. Y'all keep your spirits up. Don't pay no attention to them Trump people on here. They're pitiful. They're pitiful, y'all. And I've got real good, like Ava and I, when we do lives over on TikTok, not on Facebook, because we wouldn't tolerate it. We just block people. But on TikTok, I ain't got time. If I had to block people, I'd have to sit here and block 10,000 people. I'd just spend all my time on TikTok just blocking people. People's like, well, why don't you let 2 or 3 other people be moderators and they can just go on there and block this and that? No. Here's what I say. The best way to handle MAGA people on TikTok, ignore them. Ignore them. That makes them more upset than blocking them. Because they're like, I'm saying all this horrible, ugly stuff about homosexuals and about this. Nobody even cares. Nobody cares that I think gay people's going to hell. They don't even care. They don't even respond. That's the best way to do it. Just ignore them. Like, what was that President Obama used to do? Like that. People don't like that. People want to be heard. Yeah, people want to be. But anyhow, y'all, love y'all. Y'all enjoy this rain for the next few days. I'll see y'all this evening.